Glad to be here.
So we have a 14-year-old today.
Yes.
You know, the most amazing thing for me is, I don't know how many years we've been together, but I know it's been quite a few. And to see you guys walk through the door, and we talked about the energy level raising, and you guys raised the bar as soon as you came in. Jesse has made some really impressive strides since the last time I saw him last year. Congratulations, Mom and Dad. You guys are doing some teamwork here. Tell me what's, well, you know what? Let's just start at the beginning, because, I mean, I know you guys so well. Why don't we share Jesse's story for those who don't know?
Okay. Go ahead. Jesse was born a very healthy baby 14 years ago today.
On his birthday today?
On his birthday. And at 3.5 months of age, he was violently shaken. And it caused global brain damage, meaning just that. All areas of his brain were injured. And we were doing foster care at the time, and we were contacted to take him as a placement. So I actually picked him up here at Gunderson and looked like a normal healthy baby. I was told that we probably wouldn't see the damage until he started to grow. We wouldn't know what the damage would be because we would have to see what milestones were missed or hit or whatever.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. The first few months he seemed like a normal baby, but he did not learn how to sit up. He did not learn how to crawl. We were told that he might not ever do those things. At 6 months of age, he started to have clusters of seizures, and he would have up to 50 at a time.
Had you ever seen a seizure before that?
We had.
You had? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
that's a good sound coming in.
That's a good sound.
Yeah, that's a good sound.
We had never seen seizures in someone so young, and it was very hard on us. A lot of times we would actually cry holding him because that's all you could do is hold this little baby who was flailing, one seizure after another, and we would count them. There would be easily 50 at a time, multiple times a day. And being so tiny, they were giving him medication, but they could only medicate him so much, and it didn't stop the seizures.
Did you ever feel isolated, or did you feel like there was a team behind you? How did that work, dealing with something like that?
I think we've always felt we've had a team. There's been a huge backing from starting with the county, who placed him with us, to the medical people here at Gunderson, to the medical people down in Milwaukee, where we started a ketogenic diet for his seizure activity, which, by the way, he is off of that now as of June of this year.
And how's that been?
He did a 24-hour EEG, and for people that don't know, it's when they do the wires on the head to check for seizure activity. And he was seizure-free, and he has been completely seizure-free being off of the diet. He is on several medications to still help control seizures, and he could easily have breakthrough seizures, but the thing people need to realize is
another good noise.
Throughout Jesse's life up until this time, not only did he have the breakthrough seizures, growing up he had over 7 types of seizures. He had to wear a helmet at one point, and because he would have drop seizures, and there were times when he actually did learn to crawl, but it was at, over a year of age, and he did learn to walk, but it was over 2 years of age. Everything was very delayed, and it was with a lot of team. We had a lot of people helping him. But when he was walking, he had to wear a full helmet with a face guard, because the drop seizures, he would literally just drop. And he actually had cracked the helmet open several times during those seizures because he hit so hard.
That has got to scare the daylights out of you.
It was always hard. He would put his teeth through. He's got scars here where he put his teeth through. But the other part that was difficult is he was having seizures going off every second that we didn't see inside the brain. When they hooked him up to the wires, that showed seizures going off different places of the brain every second. So this little guy was struggling not only with all of the delays, he is legally blind and he does not speak. You know, all of these injuries, the other 7 types of seizures that we're breaking through, on top of that, every second the brain was firing off seizures. But he's a fighter and he never gave up. I mean, he just would try and try and try. When he was learning to sit up, he would just do it all day long with a smile. When he was trying to walk, he would do it all day long with a smile. And he's just our hero over and over again.
Where did Children's Miracle Network hospitals come into play?
They came in very early on. Birth to 3 got involved right away. And because of his seizures, and of course his difficulty in sitting up or doing different things, they suggested a jungle gym made out of soft material. And Children's Miracle Network purchased that for him. And it was an indoor made out of like mat material.
Oh,
like your
sure.
soft mat, but it was thick and it had stairs, it had a tunnel, a slide, a lot of things that we could work with him on a daily basis for. And it was tremendous, but it was, again, something we couldn't have afforded, and it came in so much.
Isn't it amazing that some of this equipment that is so specialized, the cost is just astronomical. Jump in, Dad. The cost is astronomical. While we've been talking, I don't know if you know this, Robin, but we already have 3 pledges that have come in just during the short time that our birthday boy has joined us here. So, Paul, there has been some milestones that you guys together have hit in the last year. Tell me about some of them.
Well, Jesse's getting some very special therapy right now. He rides a horse at the Horse Sense Ranch up in Coon Valley, and that has just been an amazing experience for him. Plus, he gets music therapy of Life in Harmony in West Salem, and we're just opening up different opportunities for him to learn different ways, and they're working. He's gaining a lot more cognitive things, and patterns mean so much to him. And so we're building these patterns of life for him that he can work with, and he does the same thing. He can open his own car door now, get in his own seat. He recognizes things that we never thought he would. And he's talking. There are a few words. We do have a few words. We have hi and hungry, and we just wait for those things to come forth. He's just showing us so much stuff. And now also he's in a food eating OT, and I don't know if we try to post these, but he is actually eating with a spoon, drinking from a cup, which that doesn't sound like something, so for him it's tremendous.
It is tremendous
It's the
because
first time
it's
ever.
the first
Yes,
time ever.
yes. And other than Lay's potato chips, throwing a little throw out there for Lay's.
We have some waiting for
Okay,
him back there.
he loves those, but that's all he would eat with
Yeah.
his mouth. And now he's drinking soups and grits. And shout out to Kate out there. She's his therapist. She's doing an amazing job. And every time we get together, something new comes up a little bit at a time. And it's like building with very small Legos, a little bit at a time. But inevitably, things come out of him that we're just we're hopeful for. So.
Well, we were so thrilled to see the 3 of you walking here today.
Yeah.
Because for some years that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
He's been in a wheelchair. Today the 3 of you walked in the door.
Yeah.
And for us, and a lot of us that see you once a year and we follow,
Yeah.
we keep track of you. We were just doing handstands.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
thrilled about that.
There's your book.
So what's next?
Well, we're hoping that his eating continues, that he can feed himself which he's starting, like with the cup. He actually took it at his last therapy by himself and started drinking it. He's let me feed him at home several times now, which is a first.
Sit down.
He
Sit down.
actually took me from the living room, grabbed my hand, took me to open our half door, pulled me all the way into the kitchen and tapped the faucet. And I got a cup and got water for him, and he drank from it. And he's never asked for it like that, which is, the brain is working if he can tell me
Right.
from the living room that he wants a drink of water and take me to the faucet to get it.
So these are huge accomplishments
Absolutely.
that you guys originally were told probably would not happen.
In 2010, we actually were even told that when he was so sick, he had a lung infection. We were in the hospital for 3 months, and Children's in Milwaukee actually sent us home for him to pass. That's how bad it was. And Jesse, we just call him our miracle child.
Well, this miracle child, there's already 3 people that have called in pledges, and I think we'll probably shoot for 5 at the Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank.
Okay.
So, clearly Jesse is making this happen. We all know that sitting here. The number to call is 608-784-KIDS 5437. And some other things too, Robin, that has happened. Jesse has shown some emotion recently to you.
Yes.
Could you share some of that if it's not too
Yeah.
hard for you?
Well, he has been able to, like I said, his emotions have been locked up. And he's always been very happy, that we could see, but we could never see him sad, or he never cried. That was a big thing, Jesse didn't cry. And it was just about a year ago now, and he has since, but the teacher had to tell him no at school.
The teacher told him no.
The teacher told him no.
Okay.
And he cried. And when Paul got to school to pick him up, that was the first thing that they told him. And Paul said, "Oh, well, what did you do?" And she goes, "We all cried."
We all cried.
Because it's just pretty emotional to see him cry, because he's always a happy little guy.
Well, now he's going to be super happy because that goal that we set, we just met it.
That's awesome.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome.
And then shortly after that, on a little more emotional note, we lost a son several years ago in a drowning. And we had made a trip to the cemetery on his birthday. And when we came home, we had ordered pizza because that was his favorite food. And we were just sitting there waiting for the food to show up. And Jesse came by me, and all of a sudden he got very somber and his lips started to shake. And he climbed up on my lap, and I looked at him, and I just knew, and I said to him,
It's okay. Take a minute. Paul, you may need to jump in here.
I said, "Jesse,
Okay.
you miss Andy too, don't you?" And he started to cry, and he reached his arms around me, and he just buried his head in my shoulder. And it's just a precious moment. I mean, that he could share, that he knew. This little guy knows that he lost a brother, and that he could actually, all this time he knew it, but he wasn't able to share it. And the fact that he could, that's a milestone.
It certainly is. And it's one of those things that it's so bittersweet, but yet
is.
there's some joy mixed in there.
Yes.
Because now this little guy is releasing.
And
some
it
feelings,
just
and
tells us also that he really knows what's going on. He knows his surroundings. He might be playing, but he knows. And I have to share this little joke. I have a best friend who lives out east, and a lot of times when we talk on the phone, we talk on speaker. It's just easier because we're busy. And we were joking because our prayer has always been that Jesse will be completely healed. And every time he makes these milestones, we're like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And I told her, I said, we're going to be in a lot of trouble because he knows all our secrets. And first thing out of her mouth, she goes, okay, my new name is Mildred. And so we came up with these new nicknames, and it was just funny. But at the same time, it was kind of exciting because he knows. And he also started just coming up and loving on us even more. Like, he's always been a lover and he gives hugs, but now he'll come up and he'll actually just kiss you right on the mouth. And he has rule over the whole downstairs now, which is another huge thing because we had to keep him secure. And for a long time, he had his own little area in the living room that was just his. And then he needed more space, so we took that down, and he had the entire living room. And then we got a bedroom ready for him, and so we kind of took him from, we were with him though, we'd take him from one to the other. And then I just got brave and I just started opening the doors and letting him go by himself. And now he kind of just rules the downstairs, and it's wonderful. And I just, every day is a miracle. And we just thank God because he's got a purpose and a plan for Jesse. This little guy should have died from the injury, and he should have died hundreds of times after that. In fact, he did code. When we were in Milwaukee, we lost track of how many times on life support that he coded, and they were giving him CPR on life support, which I didn't even think was a thing. And again, they sent him home thinking there's nothing we can do. But we serve a God that loves him and has a plan. And he's touched more lives, this little guy, without speaking, without doing so many things, just being him. And you say hi to everybody? You say hi? No?
Well, I tell you what, the fact that you all come back year after year, and this has got to be the most uplifting visit that we've had, and I truly can't thank you enough for stopping in the Pullman family. Jesse, 14 today. Happy birthday, big guy. Woo-hoo. We want to check in with you next year. Absolutely.
Love you.
And our phone banks are open. People have called in. We're
Great.
way over what we were shooting for. You guys, thank you. Take care of yourself. Keep being strong.
Can we just say that?
You can say whatever you want. You got the mic.
Well, we love you, that's for sure.
I love
we
you
love
guys.
CMN. If you're on the fence, jump over. I don't care what the amount is, if it's $1, if it's $100, whatever. Jesse's been blessed so many times. When we couldn't give him something, CMN has come through, and they're part of our team. It's not us that he is where he is today. CMN is a part of the team that has allowed him to be here. They purchased him a bike that has allowed him to grow. That the iPad, when he first got out of that hospital and couldn't do anything, he connected with that, and it helped him. His car seat was almost $2,000, a regular 5-point car seat, but for a child this size, they take advantage of you. There's nothing special about it except a little bit bigger, and you can't get it at a normal store. You have to order it. $2,000. We can't pay for that.
Germany.
It came from Germany. And this tricycle, I mean, he just squeals when he rides that, and the strength. And
he lights up when you talk about horses, too.
And he loves horses. He rides
can see
Tito
that.
and Elsa and Taz, and he knows, and he loves to pray. When we pray, he gets so excited. There's just so many things, but we want to thank anybody that has been a part. There's teachers and therapists and doctors and so many people. It's been a community, definitely, and the prayers for him. But
and the community is just as strong as can be. And what we want to do is we want to update. That's your job. Will you let us know how things are going?
We'll do that.
We truly do. We're way over. I don't know. We've lost track. There's 7 or 8 that have come
That's
in. We were
great.
shooting for 5. Pullman family, Are you good?
My wife mentioned the tricycle, and I just wanted to say when we go out for a ride, and that tricycle is an amazing piece of equipment. It's a very special piece of equipment for him, and he does love it. But when we pass through the farmer's market in Toma with it, there's Jesse, and they wave at him, and they expect him to come around when they see him during the summertime, and because they love to see him ride his bike, and they've asked questions about him and want to know how he's doing and everything else. And CMN made that bike possible for us, and it's just a tremendous blessing. And whatever you do out there when you're donating to things like this, know that kids like this, families like ours, run into places where we can't go any farther, and CMN bridges those gaps for us and helps us to get equipment and things that we couldn't get and do things we couldn't do and help our children gain ground that they couldn't gain. So thank you very much, Children's Miracle Network.
I can't think of a better way to close. Family, thank you. So good to see you. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon, a service of the La Crosse Media Group.
Thank you, Joni. Yeah, they are a great family. I always look forward to having the Plowmans come back and visit us every year and see Jesse growing up, and now he's 14 today. It's awesome. 1241, this is the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals Radiothon.